Hey guys, welcome back to the channel with another movie reaction. We are watching Your Name. It's a Japanese animation. I know it has a lot of accolades and a lot of my friends were recommending it to me, so I wanted to check it out. I know literally nothing about the film though, so I'm just gonna get right into it. If you want to watch the full reaction, you can check out Patreon in the link in the description below. Otherwise, let's get started. Wow.
それはまるで
夢の景色のように。
What?
すげえ本物っぽいなって。
Is this a body switching thing? Because she didn't know she had boobs. That might be it. Oh, a day has passed, and she doesn't realize that a day has passed? Who are you? Is that him writing to her when they switch bodies? But then she has no recollection of being in his body. Is the boy from Tokyo? Where are my boobs? Something's there. Oh my god. An actual cafe. Oh my god. Aww.
どうしよう。俺バイト遅刻だって。早く言ったら。
Where do I work?
俺のバイト先ってどこやっけ？
は
あ、この夢いつ覚めるんやさ。
お客様、お怪我はございませんでしたか？そのスカート。大丈夫ですか？
What?
おい、どうした？
切られてるみたい。
That's what he did.
あいつら、どうしましょう。
スカート脱いでください。
No, 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 no.
あ、向こう向いてますから。
Oh, look at that.
滝くんすごい。前よりも可愛い。女子力高いんだね。滝くんって。
Mitsuha.
なんだこれ。なんだこれ。
今日もカフェ行かね。
Oh my god.
お姉ちゃん、今日はおっぱい。
You're not touching your boobs today.
ご飯。
They have to learn to live each other's
おっ
lives.
ぱい。おはよう。
Oh my god.
何よそれ。
Mortified.
私、夢の中であの男の子と。
俺は夢の中であの女と入れ替わってる。
Oh.
それでも俺たちは確かに入れ替わっている。周囲の反応がそれを証明している。
てしまっている
No bats, no looking, no touching.
守るべき禁止事項。それなのに。
それなのにあの男は
今日は帰り道に奥寺先輩とお茶。君たちの仲は順調だよ。
てめえ三葉、俺の人間関係変えるなよ。
私は。
俺
Oh my
は
god.
いないんじゃなくて作らないの。 あいつに悪いか。
ね。
本当に自分のおっぱい好きやな。行くよ。はよ準備しない。
デート？
Date? Wow.
駅前待ち合わせ10時半のはずやったのにな。
She wanted to go.
たーきくん、
うわ、
今頃二人は一緒か。 別の好きな子がいるでしょ。
いませんよ。俺と三葉との入れ替わりは起きなかっ
What?
た。だから俺は直接三葉に会いに行くことにした。邪魔だな。
He's so annoyed.
やっぱ無理。
それ糸森やろ。
Ooh.
まさか。
もしかしてあの彗星の。
What? Oh, damn. What the heck?
消えてく。勅使河原とさやか。
この子なの？
She really died?
こっちが妹でこっちが俺。
My sister.
もう一度だけ。
Oh! What?
ちょっと東京行ってくる。ちょっとお姉ちゃん。
What?
水葉水葉。
What?
お姉ちゃんまたおっぱい。
Oh my god.
お姉ちゃんいよいよやばいわ。
Save everyone. Oh my god.
お前あんまりくっつくなよ。
何照れてんの？ほらほら。
ちょやめろって。
What the heck?
ば
A bomb?
ガンス
完璧なんじゃいいよ。放送はさやちん担当ね。なんでよ。
私滝くんになっとる。
She's gonna see the town destroyed.
やっぱり迷惑かな。気まずいかな。
3 years ago, he didn't know who she was.
私覚えてない。
あのさ、あんたの名前。
三葉。名前は三葉。お前はあの時俺に会いに来たんだ。
滝くん。片割れ時だ。
滝くん。
お前に会いに来たんだ。ほら、3年俺が持ってた。
Oh my
今
god.
度は三葉が持ってて。
What?
三葉、大丈夫。覚えてる。お前は誰だ。誰に会いに来た。誰だ。名前は。まだこの世界は
覚えてる。絶対に忘れない。滝くん、君の名前は滝くん。
場所で待ち合わせよう
そろそろかな。
んなもん適当や。
飛ばし読みでいいか
Oh wow. Yikes.
まどろみの中で生ぬるいコーラにここでないどっかを夢見たよ
あの人の名前が思い出せんの。
親父さんを説得してこい。
おそらく地表に到達する前に誘拐してしまうと思われますが
Ow.
愛し方さ
Oh.
名前
君のすべてを僕とはもう権利なんかじゃない俺こんな場所でしかし町の住人のほとんどが奇跡的に無事だった
Confirmed?
その日偶然にも町を挙げての避難訓練がありほとんどの町民が被害範囲の外にいたというのだ
それからテッシーさ式までにヒゲ剃ってよね
Oh my
私も
god.
3キロ痩せるでさ
Tessie. And oh my god. Damn. Aww. They were inches from each other. I suppose even if they don't meet, it's a very happy ending just from the fact that they survived. What? Oh my god.
ずっと誰かを
Ah. This is so much better.
君を追い越したんだよ
What? What? Say her name.
俺君をどこかで
私も君の名前は
二人の間通り過ぎた風はどこから
I'll wreck after
寂
this.
しさを運んできたの
They pulled a fake too, with them just walking past each other too.
いつも
Oh.
尖ってた父の
That was incredible.
言葉が
Okay, so I loved this movie. You could probably tell by my reaction to it, but the first thing that pops off the screen is the gorgeous animation, just so detailed, so gorgeous, and you could tell there was a lot of love poured into this film. And there's even like this thing where they do like rotating camera stuff really well, like with things in the foreground moving faster and stuff in the background moving slower. I don't think I've seen anything like that in animation before. I could be wrong, but it feels new and different. But yeah, the story and the quirkiness of these two main characters and what they're having to deal with is really compelling. I'm sure there's other body switching works of fiction out there. I might have even seen some in my own time, but I don't remember any of them. It was really interesting to see what little details they have to think about. The way the story is told is like it's a dream state for them, which is a good explanation for everything that happens in the film. Like it actually excuses a lot of it. Actually, not excuses. It makes sense in this world and leads the story in the way that it needs to go. And maybe some people think it's like a cheap way, an easy way out, but I think it's great. Like it makes sense. It gets the point across to viewers in a way that can understand. I think it's a very elegant explanation because it allows for this moment of like this emotional moment where they're trying to remember each other and they can't. They're forgetting each other. And yeah, I've said in the past, like in past movie and TV show reactions, I don't care too much about plot holes unless they're like super glaring, especially if they add to the way something resonates with me emotionally, and this movie did that. I was crying by the end. You guys saw. But yeah, the opening shot with the meteor fragment coming down, I thought it was just like pretty. I didn't even think such a gorgeous shot could end in such a disastrous outcome. But the next thing we see is Taki in Mitsuha's body, squeezing her boobs. This feels so realistic. the slow build up to them finding out that they switch bodies is great because, again, like Mitsuha didn't realize at first when she was back in her body that she was missing a day. She didn't realize that she didn't remember being in Taki's body because it was a dream. It was like a dream to her, which was really interesting. I really liked Sayako and Tessie, actually. They were very cute characters. We learned that Tessie kind of just wants to stay in town and live a normal small town life, but his father also has him work with explosives, which I guess foreshadowed him blowing up the freaking power plant later. They technically committed like a ton of crimes that night, right? So that was fascinating. But it's nobody's ever going to find out because half the town was destroyed. But yeah, Sayako is like Mitsuha and wants to get out because there's nothing to do in this town. No bookstore, no dentist, no jobs, no brides, no cafe, fake cafe, though they build one later, which is cute. But yeah, even though the story isn't too much about Sayako and Tessie, their willingness to have Mitsuha's back no matter what makes him very likable. I really like Taki's friends too, Shinta and I forgot the other's name, but then there's Okudera as well. She's really cute and a really interesting character as well. But yeah, Mitsuha's journey with her family ties into the story too. Apparently it's like a family trait that they switch bodies with people. I don't know if Yotsuha is going to go through her little sister. I don't know if she's going to have to go through that as well at some point. But also their work with the threads and the rituals is really interesting as well. Like thousands of years of Itamori's history is etched into the braided cords. But the shrine and documents with greater details were destroyed in the fire. It feels like there's a whole nother story that could have been told, which I guess is part of the setup. Like the first half of the movie, you feel like, oh, it's going to be about them learning to live in each other's bodies, and it's going to just happen more and more. I didn't see the twist coming at all that Mitsuha had died 3 years earlier. I thought the whole movie was just going to be these shenanigans and then like them getting closer in a way, which they did get closer, but like I thought this movie was going to focus on a lot of the things that I guess were kind of red herrings, because like even the father had this like mayoral campaign which like amounts to nothing essentially. He could have just been mayor the whole film and nothing would have changed, but because there's like a mayoral election going on, you think, oh, the movie might be possibly about that a little bit, but they set a lot of things up in the first half that they don't pay off. They set it up because they set it up for this huge drastic shift in tone. You don't see it coming because you expect a lot of other things to happen as well. And yeah, it was great. We learned about the Shinto ritual and the rice sake, which leads to a funny moment later when Mitsuha finds out that Taki drank from it. She's like, "You pervert." But yeah, there was a very like frequently repeated shot of like the sliding door bisecting the screen. And then one of the first shots we see is the tomato being cut in half. So there's this constant imagery of like two halves, and the comet splits in two as well. It's not halves though. I think the part that fell down was smaller than. Am I assuming wrong? I don't know. It splits in two at the very least. And then that shot near the end on the mountain where Taki and Mitsuha are on two sides of the screen, but it only shows one of them at a time. I thought that was really, really beautifully done. But yeah, there's clearly like this effort to show that this is two halves. Even the movie itself is split into two halves. The first half is like a rom-com with it was just a rom-com, and then the second half becomes something else so entirely different later on. And then at the end, when they go up and down the stairs past each other, they're on opposite sides of the railing. Yeah, it's just a constant theme throughout, and I really, really enjoyed that. Yeah, I love how different Taki and Mitsuha are, and how being in their bodies influence each other. Like Okudera, the woman who Taki goes on a date with, really appreciates the kinder and gentler Taki, who is, of course, Mitsuha. She comments on like it being like the feminine side, and Mitsuha as Taki actually wanted to go on the date with her, so she would have rather she went on the date than Taki, which it's really interesting because later on as well, when Taki is in front of the sake, he refers to Yotsuha as my sister. So their kind of personality, their sense of self kind of blends into these two different lives. I thought at first, pretty early in the film, like 30 minutes in, that this film was going to be about them kind of losing a sense of who they really are. They just actually become both of these people and learn their respective lives so much that they kind of forget who they are and which one's the dream and which one's real. That's not what happened, but yeah, it felt like there was, because they have to pretend also that they are this other person, but then even when Taki was himself, he was saying Yotsuha, my sister. Yeah, and I feel like at some point, I'm not sure if Mitsuho was actually attracted to Okudera in that moment, and she was like crying because Taki and Okudera were going out on this date together, and I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of things that can be read very differently in this film. She could either, I mean, yeah, I'm not entirely sure if she's bisexual or not. There was also a girl who came up to her and like confessed to her. So at the very least, there is some LGBTQ representation in the film. But yeah, it's interesting. I'm not entirely sure what to make of her wanting so badly to be on that date with Okudera. Or if she was just, you could also read it as her being jealous that she set these two up and therefore isn't with Taki. She does decide to go visit Taki the very next day and not Okudera. Anyway, but yeah, like Taki's more like in your face aggressive when he's in Mitsuha's body, and also that also changes the way people see her. And they give each other rules to follow in each body, which at first they like break all the time, but by living in each other's bodies, it feels like they are becoming more like the other person. I don't think Mitsuha could have saved the town and been so aggressive in her fight to do so if she hadn't spent time not only in Taki's body, but like being Taki. And we also see the softer side of Taki later on that wouldn't have been possible without him being Mitsuha. So it's a beautiful freaking film with a great message. And the fascination that they have with each other's lives. Mitsuha hates her own town, wants to be reborn as a handsome Tokyo boy, and so she basically is. And then Taki, that scene where he first sees the lake after he puts the sake in the shrine thing, it takes his breath away, and they both gain a very strong appreciation for each other's lives. And yeah, there are truly moments where they love living out the life of the other person, and they gain so much compassion for each other through that manner. I also love like some little details, like Mitsuha falling off the bed as Taki is just, it's not just funny. It is funny, but it's not the main thing. It's a charming moment in this film because she normally sleeps like on a cot on the ground, and so this time she's on a bed and she just falls over. It's every single time she falls over, it's really, really it's very good with the continuity, I think. And her friends were named Tsukasa and Shinta, I think, or his friends. Her making friends with them was really fun too. We missed Taki going around her everyday life the first time, so it was fun to see her try to navigate it, try to find school. She was just like so bewildered by Tokyo that she didn't make it till like lunchtime, it seemed. And then she had to ask Taki's friends, "Where do I work?" That was really funny. But yeah, I was in shock though when after Taki's date with Okudera, he tried to reach out to Mitsuha but like couldn't reach her, and then he said they never switched again. I was already like, oh, that's really, really sad. Like this connection that I don't think either of them really started to communicate that they had grown fond of each other's lives, but it definitely seemed like it was getting to that point. And then to find out that they never switched again, and that's really sad. But then to find out that a third of the town died when the comet split. Like, it was such a beautiful sight at the beginning of the film, and I thought it was a magical comet that actually allowed this whole body switching thing to start, but that wasn't it at all. It was what took it away, apparently. But yeah, the sake drinking scene, he was going through her entire life again and seeing things through her perspective. Events that he never even lived through. Like, he gained a even stronger understanding of who she was. Saw her sister being born, saw her mother passing and apologizing for leaving, saw her father leaving. And then she saw him. He saw her come and try to visit him. And I love how they, earlier I said I love how they reveal things in little bits and pieces and then flash back to them later. So Mitsuha visiting Taki before he even knew who she was. That was so heartbreaking. And then the braid that Taki wears was from Mitsuha the day right before she died. And he's been wearing it for 3 years, only to finally start getting a sense of who she was when they started to switch bodies. Oh, man. And then earlier in the film, we saw her at the festival and she had cut her hair. And Tessie theorized it was like a breakup or something. And it wasn't, but it also kind of was similar. She was going to see Taki and was like so excited, and he didn't even recognize her. So that like became a very big change in her life, and so that's why she cut off her hair. I'm getting chills at how well crafted this story was. And then in the sake dream, he's like begging her to get out of there. I felt that so hard. Man, the meteor was, yeah, we saw her final moments there. And then he wakes up as her one last time, meaning that he lied about them not switching bodies, which he hugs herself. Is that right? He hugs herself so hard. Oh, my emotions during that time. This movie is great. And then he starts crying so much and like massaging his breasts again. And Yotsuha was so like freaked out. She's like, what are you doing? Slammed the door in her face. I'm not sure what pronouns to use anymore. His, her? I don't know. Anyway. Him, his. Okay, there we go. But yeah, the last like 15 minutes of the film were so nerve-wracking. 15, 20 minutes, I guess. Or maybe 25 even. Because we see Mitsuha talk to her father, but we don't see what happens after that except the meteor falling. And then the screen cuts to frickin' black, and I was like, no. Is the movie frickin' over? And they let it linger for a while. They let the black screen linger for quite a bit. And thankfully it didn't end there, but I actually kind of want to watch this with a friend and just like pause after it cuts to black and tell them that it's the end of the movie. That'd be too cool, right? But it'd be funny. But yeah, then I thought they were going to end the movie without us ever finding out what happened to the people in Itomori. And then we see that they survived, which was great. And like Taki's even in close proximity to Tessie and Sayako for a bit. Like he hears them and he like turns when he hears the name Tessie. But he doesn't interact with them. And it makes so much sense that Mitsuha and her friends wound up in Tokyo, though. Like, first, because Sayako and Mitsuha always wanted to live in a bigger city. But also because Mitsuha wanted to be a boy in Tokyo in her next life. And also because she has these dreams in her subconscious drawing her there as well. So there was no way they weren't going to wind up there. And then they freaking walk past each other. Like, the braid in her hair, they felt each other again through that. And after they split up, they walked their separate ways after turning back and kept walking. I thought the movie might end there. I thought it might end with them never meeting. And I think that was I actually have great joy in seeing my reaction to this, because I was like, okay, Mitsuha and the rest of the town survived. That's still a very good ending. And then while I was saying that, Mitsuha sees Taki through the door of the train. They're both on parallel trains, and oh man, I would have been a little heartbroken that they worked together and averted a catastrophe, but weren't able to meet. Because that feeling of longing and searching for something is so painful. But I would have been like, at least she's alive. That's good enough. I would have, but then they saw each other on the train and were like chasing each other down. That was so powerful. I cried so much. That was amazing. Yeah, they pull the music in that scene was great. I actually probably have to cut that music scene, the music from that scene, because of copyright issues. But yeah, that was really really powerful. But yeah, I'm giving this movie a 10. Just absolutely wonderful. This is just the third 10 I've given out of the 36 movies I've reacted to on this channel. The first was Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and the second was Inside Out. Bing bong. But yeah, like I said at the end of my full reaction, I was looking forward to this movie, but I heard from a friend that she had heard the movie was overrated. So I was going in a little wary, but no, like I loved it so much. And yeah, it was amazing. Very happy I chose to watch this film. And after this, the next one's actually going to be another foreign film. It's going to be Parasite. But yeah, back to this for a second. The movie's climax and ending were just too beautiful to give it any lower of a score. And of course, all my scores are subjective and reflect my personal enjoyment of the film. So for those who do think it's overrated, there you have your disclaimer. But yeah, it actually makes me curious about Makoto Shinkai, the director. I know he has Weathering with You, which came out in Japan but is coming to US theaters now-ish. But that probably won't be out digitally for a long time. But I'm very curious enough about his other works that I want to check them out at some point, though. I'll have to do some research on what I should watch, or you guys can let me know in the comments. But yeah, really, really enjoy this film. If you guys want to watch the full reaction, which I actually highly recommend, because there's a lot of stuff I had to cut to fit this into 10 minutes in this video. If you want to watch the full reaction, you can check out Patreon in the link in the description below. This also aired 1 week early on Patreon, so most movie reactions that aren't like brand new movies will be out a week early on Patreon. But yeah, thanks for watching. Really enjoyed this. Leave a like, subscribe, let me know what you thought of the movie as well in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, friends.